Good morning.
Good
I,
morning, guys.
I,
Linda, my guess is we're going to have a pretty small class today. All right. Catherine and Genevieve, who knows, Jill may show up too, but we're moving into the holidays, so people are sort of scattered around everywhere. But uh,
fine.
but go for it. Let me turn the heater off here.
I hope everyone's having a nice run up to holidays. Hello, hello, hello.
Morning, Linda. Morning, everyone.
Nice to see you guys. So, can you hear me back here? Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. It's nice to see you. One thing I want to say right off the bat, because I've noticed this a little bit, and different people may have different opinions about it. And mine is only an opinion, but Malcolm, you may have an opinion about this too if you're listening. In all the Qigong training that I've had over the years, I've studied with Master Zhang. He's very, and before that with a teacher named Joe Deischer. And I started studying in 1988. And I've not had any teachers suggest that we're constantly shifting weight foot to foot like this while moving. The instruction from these two teachers, in any case, has been very solidly grounding. It doesn't mean that we certainly do feel weight shifts when they happen, and we do. We constantly are using weight shifting, but it's not an abstract, it's not an adjunct to our work, it's integral to our work. So where the weight shifting happens, it should be very purposeful um, rather than secondary or just, because it feels fun with music or it feels fun because I love doing all this stuff with music too. Um, it's not dance. And maybe it doesn't matter in the world of Qigong. It certainly is an issue, for, in the martial arts aspect that you don't want to miss your weight shift because of a kind of an agitation of weight shifting. I think that it's a fun thing to do, but it's not necessarily what we're doing. Malcolm?
Linda, don't let Master Zhang hear you say you're doing this to music, because you remember what his attitude
I
was.
know, he would actually have a heart attack.
You know, no practice music, practice
Right.
Tai Chi, right? No,
Crazy.
he was adamantly against doing, especially Tai Chi, but actually Qigong too. And there's a very simple reason for that. You shouldn't be spacing out to music. Now, I like music too, but I don't do it when I'm practicing because you should be you should be cultivating your own internal stillness, your quietness. And music is wonderful, but it's kind of a different thing. Linda, my own take, and again, this is just my take, just like Linda said. You guys are all going to develop your own particular way of doing these things too. Is I continue the kind of general weight shift in Qigong that we basically do in Tai Chi. And I say basically because Nothing's ever 100% one way or another. But in general, the basic idea is when you're when you're coming up from the ground, you come up on the right leg. When you're dropping down to the ground, you drop down on the left leg. That is totally arbitrary. The reason they put that in there is one, this is the most important, to keep you from being what's called double weighted. That is 50% on each foot because that's so static. So if you're constantly just sort of, I mean, you don't even think about it, you're just sort of swaying in the breeze, right? And moving the energy from one side to another keeps it more lively. At least it does for me. But you don't want to make it into a dogma. It's not a dogma. It's just
Exactly.
something that you sort of gently do. And there was something else I was going to say. Oh, it could just as easily be the other way around, where you come up on the left and go down on the right. The reason they made this, let's just call it a suggestion, is often, probably most often, Tai Chi in a learning situation is done in a group. So if you've got a group doing Tai Chi or Qigong, and you've got half of them coming up here and half of them coming up here, they're going to look very uncoordinated. So if everybody comes up on the right and goes down on the left, it helps the group maintain some cohesion. So that's just my take on it. I like it. It keeps things moving from foot to foot, and I find that valuable. But you all do it the way you're going to do it, right? All right, I'm going to mute myself again.
So in following up, where the weight shift is happening, this is I think fundamental. It's really when we did this, I think last Tuesday, and it bears consideration to perhaps start here. Just doing the internal circles from the dantian, the weight shift to the right is not a hip shift or a hip shift. So this kind of movement isn't in this um, world of teaching. It's dantian centered movement. So yes, the hips respond. They're part of the architecture, but we don't. But it's easy for us, all of us, any of us who love dance, and I'm like I love dancing, to want to sway from the hips, to move from the hips. And, Zhang had hilariously, on occasion talked about that we were doing the hula, and he was saying no hula. So anyway, let's start with our hands on our dantian, enough said, and start with shoe circles. So the hands will move in response to the dantian, and we'll make sure that we're lined up, reaching up through the top of the head, feeling the feet on the ground, chin down, neck long. And changing direction. And something we didn't do last time, now internally, we're going to split this energy. So we're going to make two circles like this internally, two shoe circles going opposite directions, same timing. So you want to feel the center and then feel the chi moving out toward the sides of the body and down and opening. And notice that your shoulders are not girded, they move in response, just as your hips are moving and opening, and your groin, qua. So there's this beautiful double circle happening. And as we've been saying all along, all the joints of the body are engaged, even with something very small. Reversing the circle, we're going to go around like this. So we're separating at the bottom, coming out up the sides, across the top, and down. And coming back to center, we'll do our Lee circle, going into the back body, up the back, between the kidneys, toward the front, and then down the front. This is the wheel circle. And reverse. And now we're going to take that circle and we're going to split it the same way we split the shoe circle. So it's going to come both to front and back, up, and then down center. So it's going to be this circling internally. It may require a lot of imagination, and that's good. The more imagination, the better. That will help drive what the muscles are supposed to do internally and what the chi flow path is. So And then reversing that if you can. Okay. The next one we're going to do is the ping circle, the one that goes around the rim of the dime. I can't pronounce it. Malcolm has a better pronunciation than I do. I call it the dime. In any case, that means that the energy is going to move forward into the front body, come around to the side, come into the back body, and then around the other side. Then we'll go one direction, then the other. Changing directions. Coming back to center, we're now going to split the circle. So it's going to go around, it's going to go into the front body and then out to the sides, into the back body and back toward the center. And reversing that, drawing your chi back toward the back body, splitting around the back toward the sides, toward the front. Now there's a third set of circles we can do with the shoe circle, the Li circle, and the ping circle. We didn't do them today, but I do want to show you one. But first, I have to ask, did any of you ever play with a hula hoop?
I actually bought one well, within the last 7 years.
Very
Long time ago.
a long time ago. So that's great because you all can relate to hula hooping. And the ping circle is the hula hoop move of all time. So recall the first ping circle we did just going in one direction. There's your hula hoop. you're doing it from here, right? Your arms are out of the way. You're not doing it. You could be doing your hips too. It's true, but really moving this from the center. But remember those exceptional people who could do 2 hula hoops at a time. So that's the third set of circles that we can do in any one of these directions, where you've got 2 circles moving the same direction with opposite timing. So it's like this. So you can imagine the hula hoop and what you have to do, what's happening internally in your dantian while you're moving the hula hoops in this way. So I suggest, just for the hell of it, even engaging your arms in these 2 ping circles, moving from the center of the body to trace the path of those hula hoops. And reversing that, you start out from the center and then you split. Thank you for indulging my hula hoop memories. Okay, we're going to step out with 1 foot and back with 1 foot. And we're going to lift, come weight forward, lift a ball. You've done this before, I'm sure. An imaginary ball, like a giant fitness ball. And then turn towards your back leg and release, and let the arms come over the top of the ball and release the ball. So we're going to come up underneath it when we come to the front leg, turn toward the back leg, and release the ball down. And we're going to reverse that. We're going to come up, lifting from the back leg and releasing down the front leg. So we're scooping up, turning, releasing. And we're going to change feet. So rather than having one leg in front, we're going to put the other leg in front. Starting from lifting in front of the front leg, turning toward the back leg, and releasing. And maintaining the spine's upright position, we're going to reverse. So as we shift our weight from leg to leg, we're still maintaining a nice long spine, aligning the lower dantian all the way up through the top of the head so that we're maintaining that length of the torso. Coming back to center. As you may have noticed, I'm not adhering to a particular order in these exercises. I don't know where you are in your practice and the work that you've been doing. And I'm just wanting to touch on different things since I only have these few opportunities to do so. But one thing we haven't done is standing, and I probably should have started with that. But I wanted to bring it up now in the context of this sense of this fitness ball. So I'm going to stand to the side or kind of diagonal so you can see this. If we come up and we let our arms settle down here, if you can see this, we're settling in here or from the side here. Notice that the wrists are lower than the elbows. The shoulder blades, everything is relaxed down, nothing is held up. And there's an extension out in front of the body here. So we're settled in, quads open, and here we are. The thumbs can easily get stuck in this position. If you've stood before, sometimes you'll notice this getting stuck. So the fingers can get stuck. You want to relax this down. You can see they're just here. They're not stiff like this. There's no stiffening in here to hold it. And the best way I have found to find this place is thinking of that fitness ball. If I was holding this rubber ball here, it almost holds my arms up for me. I've got a grip around it. I've got this nice big circle happening here between me and the ball. And here I am. And that engages the rib cage, which is you going to hold your arms up versus your shoulders holding your arms up. And if you want to stand for any length of time, because this is such a great internal meditation exercise, then finding a way to stand comfortably is super important. And so all the other things apply, of course. Oh, what is going on here? There's some weird. Oh, there it is. With with the neck, it not letting the chin jut forward, but pulling the chin in, having a lengthening in the back of the neck here, reaching up through the top of the head. So having that length, holding this ball. And what you'll find with practice is that you can do this without getting tired. It's more about what's going on internally at some point. But if your arms are up or your shoulders or your upper muscles are trying to do the work, it's all going to get tired fast. And so I've had you holding this for a little while, but I don't want you to get tired. If you get tired, then the best thing to do is to shake it all out and then come back to the standing for whatever period of time makes sense for you. But if you're able to practice standing, start with 2 minutes. And we'll do that 2 minutes right now. And release. With that same quiet energy, but sustained through the rib cage. We're going to do the arm openings next. And so we're going to start high, and then we're going to go medium, and then we're going to go low. And each time we open, when we reach the extreme of our opening, and that means the chest is lifted from the breastbone forward, and the shoulder blades are back down the body. We're not arching here in the back. We're maintaining our position, but the shoulder blades drop down as much as they're going to at the extreme apex of the opening. Once we get to that opening point, the wrist drops like that. The shinman here, the fleshy part under the pinky right there, and the wrist right there. So that drops. And that is part of this transition. If you think of these openings as a big set of wide circles like this, open and circling, it's right at that apex, that drop happens. And the drop happens in here. It's an on moment where the weight drops low. Body stays tall. So here we are. We'll start from the top. Hands are out front. Fingers are straight, but they're not locked in position. They're not stiff. And so we open, teasing apart the fingers. They're not close to the point where they're touching. They're close. So we open by lifting the breastbone forward, dropping the shoulder blades back, opening all the way, almost straight, dropping the shinman, that wrist, and then drawing the arms back in. And as we move, we're shifting our weight slightly to the right and back to the left. Subtly, not huge. And now going down a rung to the middle dantian. And down to the lower dantian. As we work our way down the body, if you don't do this often, I don't do it often enough. That's really opening the groin, the qua here. And so I am now separating my legs apart to a place where I can comfortably open my legs and not put strain on my knees. Not too wide, because then you end up in more of a V shape. We want to be able to maintain an arch shape. So the idea of being comfortable in this shape is important. And then we're going to basically start just shifting our weight side to side, not too far, because we don't want the knee to go too far out beyond the toe at all. We want to keep the knees and the toes aligned. And the idea here is to really open the qua, that is the inside of the thighs facing forward. And we're just shifting back and forth. If you do this, what you'll find is when you come out of it, you're just going to be looser and more, I don't know, for me, I'll speak for myself. I feel looser and more able to enjoy the full range of motion of my body. So we're going to add to this by turning the waist. And as we turn the waist, let's stop here in one direction. The tendency is going to be for that foot that we're pushing the ground away from to roll in, and the knee to roll in, and we want to not roll in. So in order to keep it open, think about the inside of the thighs continuing to face forward, and that the toe is, the knee is aligned with the toe. When you look at it, it's not off kilter falling inward. Another trick of the, or tool that I use, is to feel for the whole outside ridge of my foot that I'm pushing away from. So even though my body's turning, I feel for the outside of that foot that I'm moving away from. And then I'm going to shift and pivot and turn the waist and push the ground away from the other side. So each time I'm actually pushing down through the ground and up through the top of my head to keep myself vertical while turning at the torso. I'll put my hand right here so you can see the amount of shift and turn in the torso. If you get tired, just like any of the other exercises, if your muscles are talking back to you, you can always come out of it, shake your legs out, and then reposition yourself. So you don't want to let yourself get overtired in any of these positions. We're going to add arms. So as we turn, we're going to reach out. And the arms will come down across the dantian as you come back the other direction. So we've been reaching up around shoulder height. Now let's go to the middle level, waist height. And now we're going to reach down, low dantian. And what this means is even a little bit more, notice this position. Even at your extreme, we're not dipping over at the waist to grab. We're opening more in the quad so that we can maintain our length through the head up toward the sky. Again, pulling each arm back across the dantian as it returns. And we're going to come back, pull the legs in, shake them out, shake them forward and backward, and shake them side to side. Shake out the arms. Reach forward. Shake the torso. With the palm of your hand here, we're going to wrap around, grab, pull up, and release right through the palm of the hand. So we wrap around, open the chest, grab, pull up, come onto your toes, and then down, open palm. Pong, Lu, on, Chi, down. Pong, that ward off energy. Lu, turn, on, drop the weight. Chi, grab, compress, and release. One more. I'm going to go ahead and have us shake the wrist out. Other wrist. Two wrists. And using our hands, come down the outside of the hand, up the inside. Other hand down the outside of the arm, up the inside. And we're going to take the shape and use that to do a little bit of stimulation. This point here, just in the wrist above the thumb. Other side. This point right here, just near the elbow, just a little bit above it on the arm right there. There's the my elbow crease, and there it is right there. The other arm. And we're going to go ahead and give yourself a little bit of a rub here on the clavicle, right across here, the muscle in between there. And the other side. And then we're going to come up. And it's the same, it's this muscle group right here coming up using the twist for the dantian. And Malcolm, if you're there.
Yes.
I have a hard stop. I have a meeting with my boss coming down to the quad. So I want to thank you all. We're just moving down the body, inside, thighs, knees, and I'll let Malcolm walk you through the rest of this. I know you've all done it. Over the kneecaps, outside. And we're going to go down the shins inside, outside, coming around to the back of the knees with that same shape in the hand. Working your way up the thighs, down the backs of the calves, back to this area of the hip, glutes, and then up toward the kidneys with that same shape in the hand, so you get that nice press. So I have enjoyed myself so much. Thank you for
Oh,
this.
thank you, Linda. This has
Yes,
been great.
thank you.
And I'm sorry I have to run. I just realized that I better get off the phone or
Well,
it would be
Very
bad.
much.
go do your meeting with your boss and have a great Thanksgiving.
And come
Same.
back
Yeah,
soon.
come back, Linda. We loved it.
Oh, I'm so glad. Okay, take care.
All right, see you next time. All right.
Bye-bye.
Everybody else, stick around a second.